Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Factional Fight Plays Wurm Online. My name is Adam, and as you can see, I am flying solo once again as Brian was not able to make it tonight. But that's okay. I'm here, and I'm ready to play some Wurm, and to chat about Wurm, and to say what's on my mind and see where that takes us. Hey Fabricant, how's it going? Let's see who else is in here. We got Absurdities. How's it going, buddy? Windrune. Gaffer. How's it going? Alright. So, first things first. I gotta get some food. Onda, thank you very much for that tier 1 sub. 3 months in a row. That's amazing. And Muette, how's it going? First order of business is I got to get some food and some water because, yeah, those things are running low. You just killed a champion troll. Congratulations. And just ended a stream of your own. Sweet. Champion trolls are quite nasty, if you ask me. Every time that I've killed a champion troll, I've had to, you know, do some gate hopping or something like that where I have to run out of the fight. The Absorbic, how's it going? Thank you, by the way, for that that order of mortar. The Absorbic is the guy that I got all that extra mortar from. Let's see here. Gotta get some food. I'm just gonna eat a little bit of this. Champ trolls are easy. Says the man who died to a unicorn the other day. Absurdities, thank you so much for that raid. Champ torts are painful. And how are you this evening, Retrograde? Studying for finals. Yes, it is getting to be that time. Sinister Seeker and Destin Gaming, how are you doing tonight? Alright, so that's, did I fill up my food bar? Yes, I did. And I think I have some food in here, or some, rather, drink in here. There we go. Thanks for that follow. You watched a lot of our YouTube before, ever playing Wurm. Oh. Well, I'm glad that we were able to convince you to try it out. And Phenexis, good evening, good evening. And Absurdities, you don't get a chance to catch Factional Fight streams, so taking a break and hang out with you folks. Thank you so much for joining us and hanging out. So, the plan tonight is to do a bunch more work on the basement house. I have just made a whole bunch of, just got a whole bunch of mats available. Let's go check it out. Actually, our bin here has just over 2,000 mortar in it, and there should be a order of mortar also that had just arrived from the Absorbic. The Absorbic was selling 6,000 mortar, so I snatched that up as quickly as I could. Let me see here. I got a bunch of extra mats here that I'm not sure if I'm going to use, so I'm gonna do some swapping out here. Let's get rid of some of the pottery. I don't think I'm gonna use any of that. I definitely want to do some sandstone along with some slate. So I got about 350 slate. Sinister Seeker, thank you for that follow. And let's see here. I thought I had more slate than this, but I think 600 should be good enough. And Warbird, thank you for that follow as well. Yeah. We are raking in the followers, so I haven't checked in a while, but you know, we might be creeping up on a new milestone for followers. At which point, I have planned an event that we're going to be doing with some giveaways and some fun. And I'm not 100% ready for it yet, so if you guys keep following, it might be a little bit I might be in a little bit of a pressure to get that ready and going. But yeah, so look forward for that. Let's see here, some pottery bricks in there. Wow, Gala, thank you for that follow. I don't know if you guys are listening. If we reach that milestone before I'm ready, then we won't be ready. We won't have that event ready for the right time. That's okay. That's okay. All right. What was I looking for? To see if we have more slate, but it does not look like we have more slate. Probably more shards, and I'm not willing to do any cutting on this episode. Let's just take what we got. I'm going to probably pack in a bit more mortar here, and for that I'm going to need some empty crates. So let's do that, and we'll head on down to the basement of our house, where I have been doing some work on switching up all the walls and getting all the inner walls ready. So let's see here. Let's fill up our mortar. Phenexis, thank you for that follow. All right, let's see here. Okay, and there should be some empty crates in here. Yeah, good. Let's make this a little bigger. Whoops. All right, should be and is are two different things. I see. Oh, here's some. I'm sitting right in front of some empty crates. All right, there's 3 more crates, and we can load that up with the mortar, and I think we'll be ready to go then. Here we go. So I got a new setup on my desk here. So one thing I noticed is that with my new setup, I feel like I'm looking away from the camera way too far. And I try my best to get it so that I'm somewhat looking, but yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. I'll try my best to sort of keep my angle this away as I look that away. But yeah, I ended up picking up a really big screen compared to my laptop screen, that is. It's a 27-inch, and then I mounted it on one of those arms that sort of can position to any position that I like. Problem is, it doesn't fit really well with my laptop right next to it, so whatever. That's the way it is. So how's everybody doing tonight? Playing some Wurm, I hope? Either playing some Wurm or just relaxing to some factional fight. Alright, so I've done a little bit extra work here, mostly planning out stuff in my head. I finished the 2 walls that were, let's see here, I'll show you. I finished the 2 walls that Brian was having issues with. This one here and this archway. Because technically, these 2 walls are outer walls. This house here is sort of a big donut house. And so these are on the inside of the donut, this entire area. As you can see, I can look straight up into the sky. So I finished those 2. I was told that I don't need to finish these 2 in order to allow him to do what he needs to do, which is, you know, build some more of his walls. So, Warbird, you're worming away. Sounds good. And Absurdities, you're searching for an Appaloosa. Do those new horse colors spawn naturally as well? Yeah, it's possible that they do. Although I have a feeling that they'd be very rare. Might be easier to breed them in, eh? Oh, you found them all except for an Appaloosa. Okay, interesting. During Halloween, the Halloween event, especially when we were streaming the Halloween event, Brian and I came across at least 3 step areas, and they were just completely full of horses, but most were gray, I found. So maybe they changed the spawn rates of the colored horses after they added them in. So that's pretty good. Yeah, he did a lot of searching, I can imagine. Yeah, and Gaffer, you're going to do a restoration binge. 10 hours of sleep bonus, boy. Oh, that is nice. We did get 10 hours of sleep bonus. That is insane. I did not notice that. There must have been some issue today that I did not aware of. I know there was a reset earlier in the morning. And then I noticed when I came on, in the event window, it said something like the server has only been up for 2 hours. So that there must have been some issues going on today. Anyway, let's keep going with what we're doing here and get started up. So this room here, I've decided is going to be my tailoring room. It's going to have this little extra little piece to it, and I've decided I'm going to sort of set it up like a shop. So back here is going to be the little workstation, and it's going to be behind a counter, and then over here we'll put some storage and decorations, sort of to advertise that it's a tailoring shop, and then potentially put a shop sign on the outside indicating the same kind of thing. I decided to go with this, you know, left arch, right arch along the corner here because I thought that kind of looked pretty cool. And I was also considering putting a loft up here with the ability to walk across that loft, across this tile here, that will lead to an upstairs region over here, and potentially put a staircase that leads up to it over here. Now this room, this corner here, I was thinking of using as my archaeology slash dye making station. I'm debating still whether or not to put those together, and if not, I might end up putting a dye making room over here, or potentially the archaeology storage room over here. One or the other, but we'll play it by ear and we'll see how it goes. The first step, however, is to get all of the walls up. So that's what I'm going to be working on today, doing big renovations, especially on those outer walls. I got to bash them all and replace them with the walls that I like. I have decided that the hallway is going to be all slate. So walking through the hallways is going to feel like all slate. And then once you enter rooms, the rooms are going to have accent walls that are going to be of different types. So this is going to be my smithery. And in that smithery, it's going to have pottery, as you can see. And then the tailoring place is going to have sandstone on the opposite wall. So I'm going to bash all those walls and replace with sandstone, and I anticipate a couple interesting hiccups that might come along the way, but we'll play them by ear and we'll see how it goes. So let's see what you guys are saying. Yeah, you used all of the 10 hours. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's craziness. I don't think I've ever done a 10 hour binge of anything in this game. Not to say that I haven't played for 10 hours straight, just not one thing all at once. That's a little crazy. And hey, Reganation, how's it going? Glad you were able to drop in and join in on the fun. So let's see here. Let's take some mortar. Let's take some slate bricks. And once we get this all set up, I think it's time. Time to get working on my drink. Oh wait, before I do that, I've got to set the type of wall that I want. So I'm going to make this one a plain slate wall. There we go. All right. Well, tonight is a special night. It is, wow, no beer. You know, that was a good guess, because tonight I am out of beer. Did not have time to go get beer. However, I have the next best thing, and that is some wine. I love wine, by the way. Wine is one of my favorite alcoholic beverages next to beer. I would probably put it right next to beer, in fact. Tonight, I have a Black Cellar Merlot. This is a Ontario winery. And we'll crack open that guy. Merlot is a full-bodied red. This one is particularly nice. I would say. Now, in general, I'm not the biggest fan of Merlots, but they do hit the spot from time to time. What quality is the wine? Good question. What quality is the wine? Let's taste and find out. I'll let you know. Very good quality. Absolutely. Yes. We are Canadian. Yep. We live just outside of Toronto. So, yeah. Ontario wine is readily available over here. And boy, do we make good wine, I must say. Not biased or anything. I do like wine from all over, but I must say that wine from Ontario is just, there's something about it. Ah, Infinite Dice, you're also from Southern Ontario. Niagara. Ah, this is much closer to home for you then. I think this is brewed, not brewed, but you know, what's the word for wine? Fermented? It's made in Grimsby. I was not expecting that, actually. Grimsby is, I don't think, that close to Niagara. Nonetheless, Grimsby, Ontario is where that one's from. Let's see here. I definitely want a slate wall here. Fermented. Yeah. Oh, I'm too far away. Okay. There we go. Ah, so you grew up in the Muskokas, lived in Aurelia, and you're out in Victoria, BC now. Yep. Muskoka is such a beautiful place. I go there. I try to go there every year. It's out in cottage country. If you ever have the inclination to do so, if you take a Google Maps and you zoom right in on the Muskokas, it is one crazy looking place. It is just like thousands and thousands of little lakes. Tons of them. They're just all over the place. The entire place is just like water. Except for it's not, because there's a ton of land and a ton of forest and a ton of wildlife, and it's just like perfect for cottage country. And that's what it is. Yeah, lakes, and more lakes. It's just crazy how many lakes there are. Small lakes, big lakes. It's just you get a little bit of everything. Okay, let's move this a little bit forward. Around the corner. I'm just going to move this down here. See, that's not blocking anything, is it? Okay, that way I can move this over here. All right. So, I wanted to start with an interesting thing that had happened this week. We got dropped a line from the Wurm team. Retrograde sent us a message regarding and inviting us to give a little bit of a teaser and showcase a new system that's coming in with this update that's arriving this fall, or this Christmas, I meant to say. We've been told that the Priest update is going to come in, the big update that's going to happen before Christmas. Hopefully before Christmas. Everything's going to be ready for it. And with it will be the Priest update, and not sure what else. Although there have been some weird things going on. Like, for example, was it the last news? It was announced by Retrograde that, oh wait, this wall, I'm not sure about this wall. I don't know if I want it to be a door or not. Yeah, let's make this one a door. So he had planted a new deed. And this new deed was on Independence, and it was called Haven's Landing. And on the last episode, Brian and I were speculating what it could be. And I was mentioning that I had heard that Sindusk had mentioned on the Discord channel, he had said something to the effect that this new deed is going to be the most important deed in Wurm Online history. I finally found that post after much searching. Let me see if I can pull up what I had. I copied it into the drive, but I didn't have it ready. Should have had it ready. But let's see here. Oh. All right, here it is. So he had said, "It's the most important deed since the beginning of Wurm. The name took 3 months to confirm because it had to be perfect. Its reveal is going to shake the very foundation of Wurm." And then it's almost like you can tell that the Wurm team is super excited about this deed, and like almost to the point of giddiness. It's sending out this energy that is sort of contagious. Like, I'm feeling super excited about this because of how secretive that everybody is being around this. And Joelle's the best. She's like, "I know nothing." Every time that it comes up, her response is, "I know nothing." Which obviously means you know everything, Joelle. We know you know everything. Anyway, we spent a whole bunch of time trying to like speculate what it could be. And Buddha on the last show had mentioned like what else in the game has the name Haven. And we had, you know, I mentioned I'm pretty sure that I had said, I think it's like the what do you call it? The Moon Haven has something to do with it. So I went onto the Wurmpedia and searched up Haven and found, after a long list of deeds with the name Haven in it, I found the thing about the Moon Haven. And so let me read what the Wikipedia says about it. It's under astrology. Haven. "You see Haven. Rumors have it that this is where Golden Valley lies." The rest is about the moon itself, but I think that the key is in Golden Valley, because Golden Valley is the server on which the tutorial world lives, or is, and the deed name is Haven's Landing, like as if Haven came down and landed on Independence. So this, I felt, when I read that, kind of confirmed to me in my mind that this has something to do with the tutorial. And lo and behold, this suspicion was confirmed. As Retrograde had mentioned that he would like us to give a little bit of a sneak peek about this new tutorial system that they're going to be bringing into the game. Now, I am still not 100% sure about much about this. It still feels like everything is really hush-hush about it. But if I don't even know. I don't even know if I want to say, because nothing I say is official. So you got to remember, I'm just a player like you guys. I know pretty much nothing, and all I'm sharing with you is what has been shared with me. And hopefully Retrograde hasn't shared anything with me that he doesn't want shared with the world, because he should know better. Right, Retrograde? You're still in here, right? So here's what I know. And I won't. I can't say much because I really don't know much at all. But all I know is that Haven's Landing has something to do with the new tutorial, and that I will know more next week, because on next week's show we're going to be showcasing more. It turns out that Joelle has been busy working away at building this deed on Independence. So this is. It's nice to hear that Joelle has this project going on, because based on what we saw her deed look like on Bloody Drongo's stream when he went over and visited their deed, I think Joelle is the perfect person to be designing a deed like this. So let's see here. What else can I share with you right now, aside from I know nothing? All I know is that it's going to be livable, whatever that means. I suppose it means that new players spawning into the game will have the ability to do things in the deed. It's not going to be like completely blocked off to them. And that the tutorial system is sort of going to extend beyond that deed somehow. Not exactly sure how, but we'll see how it goes. All I know is that I'm super excited, super excited that a new tutorial system is coming in, because as we all know, the current tutorial system leaves much to be desired. That's for sure. It reminds me of when my son had gotten into Wurm for a little bit. Sort of lost interest by now, but he's only 7. He has lots of time. So when I put him through the tutorial system, the tutorial that is in the game right now, and he sort of messed around in there a little bit, clicked on things, he read a bunch of stuff, and sort of then promptly asked, "Can we just get on with the game now?" He might have read maybe 2 or 3 of the tooltips before thinking, you know what, I just want to get into the actual playing of the game. I don't want to be reading about the game, which I think is a good assessment of the current tutorial system. Yeah. So I'm really super excited that we're going to get a new tutorial. Hopefully it'll make that transition for a new player into the game a lot smoother. Let's see, is this going right? Yeah, okay, this is good. Okay, so I'm going to put wall, and I'm not sure. Maybe we'll have to... I'm still not sure how this upstairs is going to look up here. Whether or not this ceiling is going to be a 2-story high ceiling right here or not. Anyway. So regarding the tutorial system, what do you guys think needs to go into a tutorial for Wurm? Like, what should that tutorial look like? And you know, how should the developers be aiming this tutorial in order to make sure that people who are entering in the game for the very first time get a decent sense for what the game is all about and gets them excited about what the adventure that they're going to embark on? What do you guys think? Let's see. Absurdities, you're saying, I hope it's a global community center of some sort. Yeah, like a place where people who currently play the game might want to hang out around. You know, set up shop around there, especially those people who love helping out new players. I know there's a lot of us Wurmians who like to help out new players. Yeah, Sindus is a great guy. He was playing on his Wurm Unlimited server for a few months. Cool. Which one is his Wurm Unlimited server? I might go check it out. And you wonder if it's the piece of info dropped in your stream earlier. What piece of info was that, Absurdities? What did you find out about the tutorial? Because I want to know everything there is to know about this thing. I'm very curious and would love to get to trying it out. You know, personally, I was a big fan of the tutorial system, of the tutorial that they had when I first started. And that was the one where they had you chopping trees, making a mallet, building a fire, mining some walls, like doing a whole bunch of stuff, running through like areas that have steep slopes and you're walking over tar and that sort of stuff. Hey, Joel. You know nothing. Yeah, in Warbird, people learn better by hands-on. They need to actually do things like create a plank as a quest. Totally. I totally agree with that. Yeah. I agree that people need to learn by hands-on and working with things. And that's what I feel like that old tutorial did. Now, the biggest complaint that people had with the old tutorial was that it was long. That it took a whole 20 minutes or something like that to get through that tutorial, possibly even more, depending on how long it took you to figure out how to chop down the tree and turn it into a shaft and everything like that. So yeah. So the fact that it's going to be actually on a freedom server like Independence, so a person's going to spawn in and be right into the game, and then that be on a deed that is part of the lands itself, and you know, you walk off that deed into the wilderness. Yeah. Now there must be portals to all the servers. Like at that point, a new player should be able to choose what server they go to. But then, would that mean that anybody walking around, like any veteran, could come over to that deed and, you know, pop themselves through the portal to whatever server they want? Retrograde. Wurm tutorial will just consist of creating a plank. Okay, so Sindus servers, Wyvern Reborn, Reverend. Okay, I might check it out. Just come on over there and see what it's all about. Yeah. The plank tutorial. Hey, the Suit Man. How's it going? Well, it is well known that Wurm is a game played at breakneck speed, so the tutorial should be fast as well. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose, you know, the old tutorial sort of gave you the sense of the pace of the game. You know, this game is not going to be fast, that's for sure. Yeah. I am super excited about it. And you know, it's part of it is the way you guys are doing it. It's the release, the suspense that you guys are putting on us. It's very suspenseful. So that's it's a good lead up to this. You know, you guys should do more of this stuff where you start leaving little hints here and there. Like the fact, like just the little comments in the Wurm Discord, and then, you know, there's little comments here and there, and somehow it gets the conversation going on Freedom Chat. And then there's like, you know, posts in the forums that like hints, and people are trying to figure it out. I really like the secret nature of it, so it was a lot of fun. It should include a persistent reward, which might be unique to what choices the players make during the tutorial. I do agree with a reward of some kind, like, but that reward could easily be like your starting gear or something like that. You know what I mean? Wait, what just happened there? I damaged the wall. Didn't do much damage there. Yeah, you know, because I mean, the reward for doing the tutorial shouldn't be ultra special or anything like that. But, you know, if you're going to get them to make a plank, let's say, or make a mallet or whatever you're going to get them to make to show them how to play the game, I guess it really depends. You get a persistent plank with the wood type of log of your choosing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I really do think that it would be good enough to just get your starter gear, you know? like, you work and do things towards getting that starting gear, as opposed to be just getting it. You know what I mean? I think that would be worth it. People will want to do that because the starting gear is quite valuable to a newbie. A tutorial cape, yes. So what you're saying is capes are coming with this update, right, Retro? You've heard it here. Official from the man. Capes in by Christmas. Weather wax. 10 copper for each mention of a plank. Yes. Oh, I see. Weather wax is your in-game name. You want royalties, I see. Let's see here. What happened to the mortar that I was using? 200. There it is. All right. Let's make this a wall. Is it still a wall? Rework the whole wood system like it was done for metals. Items need to be all made out of wood, of that wood for bonuses. No more last part determines the wood type. See, I can see why that might be desirable. However, unlike metal, a lot of wood items require you to add hundreds, potentially thousands of items into that. You know, you have to add hundreds and hundreds of planks to a boat, let's say, for example. And if it was a requirement that all of the wood types had to be exactly the same as you enter it in, that would just be ridiculous. If you can imagine, let's say you wanted all apple wood, you would have to chop down an entire applewood forest in order to get just enough wood. Yeah. Yeah. Last part wood would mean a pine table with oak veneer. Yeah, if you put like the last part oak but the rest pine. I mean, there is logic to that. I'm not gonna lie. There is logic to that. I'm not sure how much it's gonna fly though. It would be quite an annoyance to have to collect enough of the same kind of wood, I think. Can't seem to find the patent office on Xanadu. Yeah. Well, very interested in this whole tutorial thing. I'm really interested. Like, I mean, when Sindus says these words, its reveal is going to shake the very foundation of Wurm. That holds some weight to me, with me, I think. I don't know what it is, but there's something about that statement that still has me super excited. You know, I wonder if my excitement level should keep going up though, because I don't want to get overly excited for something that isn't going to live up to that expectation. But at the same time, shake the very foundation of Wurm. That's quite a statement. It's quite a statement. Boy, an 85 quality wall. Are all these like this? Okay, that one's only 63. Brian must have done this wall, and I must have done that wall. Maybe the new UI will be part of it. Well, that's wishful thinking. That's wishful thinking. But you know, here's what makes me feel like it won't be. Oh, what happened to my mouse? Something happened here. It's okay. Whatever. Now it's really, really slow. What did I do? Okay. There we go. Oof. With the UI, my guess is that we're going to see lots of testing before it actually goes live. And if the UI was coming in before Christmas, I would expect that it would already be on test. So I don't really have a hope for the UI to come in. JD Booker, how's it going? And you're saying, but how about a boat with 40% oak and 60% willow having 40% the strength buff and 60% flexibility buff? Yeah, I mean, I could see it. So I thought the original request was that it could only be made of the same wood type. But you're saying like if, you know, you make it with a little bit of that and a little bit of this, you get bonuses from the wood type. You know, I would like to see the wood type system sort of have a similar effect as how the metal type system is. You know, where certain things made out of certain metals have certain abilities and certain buffs and also nerfs, you know. But I'm not sure about the whole having to use the same kind of wood type to finish an item. Let's see. Yeah, one wood type for the bonus. If it's last part oak, then it's faker oak and looks like oak but no bonuses. I see. So in order to get the bonuses, you'd have to use, let's say, all oak. Or if, let's say, you used all pine, but then the last piece you put in oak, that you should get the bonus from the pine. Yeah, maybe. I still think it would be okay if things finish in the same way as they do now. So like last piece you put in oak and then you put an oak item, and then that would give you the oak bonus. I don't see an issue with that, but I can see the merit of what you're saying. Doesn't seem all that realistic to have an oak item that was made out of 90% pine. I agree with that. Shipbuilding would be awful if every part needed to be the same wood type. Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. So I think things would get too complicated too quickly there. And you know, you also want to keep the quality of life up. You don't want to make things so tedious that people get so frustrated with it. There are too many ships. Not gonna lie, that is definitely an issue. Agreed with that one for sure. There are too many ships. But at the same time, that's where we are. We are at that place where this game has been saturated. Alright. I am not sure if I'm going to have enough slate for all of this. And slate was one thing that I didn't buy more of. Well, we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll end the slate here. I'll make the slate wall go right to the end here and make this hallway slightly different. We'll see how that goes. That's why an oak ship would be rare. Yeah. What about all the oak ships that are currently out there? Made by all those people who made it completely out of pine, but put one piece of oak. And now you're changing it so that oak ships will be super rare. Applewood ships would be pretty much non-existent. Yeah, I mean, again, I see the merit. I just also see that the quality of life would be vastly reduced. Whoops. Oh, okay, I did 220. Oh, you're saying a crap ton of slate bricks? Ah, don't worry about it. I have a crap ton of slate shards. and a chisel that moves like the wind. I should be fine. I only really need enough for the hallways, and I'm almost done the hallways. It's sort of like a matter of I might be short 100 or two, so it's not like I'm in dire need. Might just have to make a bit. Yeah, it would make forestry worthwhile. You know, they might have, like, if they wanted to do something like this, they would have to change the amount of wood that fruit trees give. You dislike slate. Why do you dislike slate? Is it because it's so dark? Because I like it because it's so dark. It's like nice and black. It makes me feel like I'm in my basement, which I am. Wondering about the floors here, though. I actually think the hallways, I was going along the lines of wood. Make the floors wood. All right, let's do this wall. Let's do this wall here. I'll do a couple bashing and then bash a couple of these. There we go. Retro is building was building a Xanadu deed. Is that project still ongoing, or is it? Oh, now he's living on Pristine. Yeah. Yeah. So now he has all these slate bricks. But again, what is so wrong with slate? I personally love the slate. I think it looks so nice. It's like nice and dark. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. So for sure next week we're gonna have a lot more to tell you and share with you about this new tutorial. Really interested to know what's going on there. But until next week, all we have is guessing. One thing that I was concerned about was releasing a new tutorial while at the same time expecting at some time in the near future, or who knows how far away, a UI update. I wonder if it has been considered to include at least the ability to update the tutorial, you know, what's the word for this? Forward compatible, you know, like make the tutorial for the current game, but have it in mind that UI is going to change. So people confuse UI with UX. UX, what's UX? There's been plenty of UX changes that work better for new players. Placing objects, dragging objects. Okay, yes. I mean, I guess it depends on to what extent is the UI going to be changed. You know, is it... Oh, user experience, that makes sense. I see. So yeah, when it was mentioned that UI was going to be like changed or addressed or whatever, my thought was like immediately I was thinking of these windows, the way the windows work, the way things look on the screen in the UI, and how we interact with those things. That's what I was imagining. So maybe that's not what was meant by the UI is being worked on. I don't know. Yes, Wurm is complex. You definitely can't escape that, that's for sure. Yes, agreed. Agreed. All of these things definitely have helped and made things easier. Okay, I see. I see. Yeah. So yeah, well, we'll see how it goes, and if a lot of those things have been addressed, all the, you know, the way that the people interact with the game, if all of that is sort of set, then it does make sense, I think, then to go on and do a tutorial and complete that. I'm just curious if there's any plans to actually overhaul the look of the UI. And if that's the case, will that impact the tutorial at all? Or maybe it won't. I don't know. We shall see. Do I use a standing desk? I do use a standing desk. Yeah, does it look like I'm standing? Let's see, what does it look like? Yes, I am using a standing desk. Wait, Retro, you're saying yes, but it's ongoing? No. Now you're just being confusing on purpose, I think. Wurm ads featuring Vin Diesel. That'd be hilarious. There will be UI stuff, but it's ongoing and pushed back again. Okay, and it won't impact the tutorial. Okay, good. So yeah, I was just thinking, you know, whether or not it would affect, or whether or not you'd be able to update the tutorial to incorporate anything that might change. You know, like how a lot of stuff is in this bar here. What's this called? The quick bar? Right? There's a lot of stuff in this quick bar that a tutorial may have to address. Like, for example, turning on and off climbing, what auto fight is, how to access the map, those things. And if, let's suppose, and I'm not saying that it is, but let's suppose that a UI overhaul would mean that this quick bar is going to be adjusted somehow to be something else. How that might affect the tutorial, you know, that sort of thing. You'll see. Okay, now you're making me really excited. You've got this all figured out, and it's going to. Yeah, this sounds really fun. Can't wait. So we'll see next week. Now another thing that was mentioned, Bloody Drongo made a post in his thread there regarding his next stream that's going to come up on this Wednesday, and in that stream he's going to be revealing the new fishing system, the overhauled fishing system, which is another thing that was sort of like came out of left field, completely surprised everybody, that a fishing overhaul was even being worked on. That news came shortly after the news of Titch's passing, because it was Titch's project that she was working on. And so the devs had announced that they're going to continue working on that fishing system and, you know, finish the work that has been laid out by Titch. Seems as though she had pretty much laid out the plans for it, like from beginning to end. Everything was already all detailed. And a lot of it was coded already. It just needed the last minute, last little bits to get it all working. And I think Buddha was saying that he was taking that on. Potentially others, I don't know. And that it's already ready to be sort of taking a look at it. So I'm very excited to see what that looks like. Hey, Draka, how's it going? No worries, you're not too late. I was late, is really what it was. I got on about an hour and a bit after I thought I was going to get on. So yeah, this fishing update, I'm really curious to see what it's like. Unfortunately, I am sleeping when Drongo goes on. I think it's about 4 a.m. in my time, maybe even before that. So I'm going to have to catch the VOD afterwards. We'll see how that goes. But I'm very curious to know what that update has in store for us. If the fishing update gives us a chance to catch items other than fish, you're totally down to grinding that to 70. I'm sure that there is going to be some incentive other than just fish. At least I hope so. Or at least that fish themselves are going to give us more incentive to catch them. Can fish go in food storage bins these days? I kind of remember the last time I tried fishing, and that was a long time ago. Fish were not able to go into food storage bins. Was that fixed? Okay, so that was fixed. Yeah, seaweed boots. Hey, I got a new pair of boots. Yes. Well, the fact that it was Titch's vision gives me a lot of excitement for sort of seeing how that is going to play a role in the bigger picture. So we'll get to see that. It's an exciting time for Wurm, as it has been for the past couple of years, with lots of updates to be looking forward to. The other one I'm really looking forward to is seeing Libella come to freedom. Very exciting. And I am making plans right now to switch my Najo priest over to Libella. Very exciting. New wall mounts for fish. Yes, wall mounting. I think just wall mounting in general for a whole bunch of different things. That would be really cool. So what am I doing other than talking about the update? Well, right now I am doing some renovations in the basement of the basement house. This house is a super tall house that we built. See, we always had this envisionment of basements in Wurm. And when multi-story came out, and then, no, not multi-story, rather Bridges. When Bridges came out, this was our first opportunity to build this house that we had envisioned right in like maybe the first year of us starting this game. And that was one where if we dug down deep, a deep hole, built a building at the bottom, built it right back up to the ground level, and then attached bridges all around it. So we built that building, but never really finished it. Like, we finished the construction of the building, but the inside was like completely empty. So more recently, after we finished the labyrinth, we were trying to figure out what to do next, and we thought, let's do some work on that building. So we put a fun twist to it. We decided that we are going to hold a competition with each other, against each other. It's me versus Brian. Who is able to decorate a floor of this building the best. So we started getting at it, building, and currently I'm bashing walls, and because, you know, when we first built it, we weren't really thinking too much about, you know, what the inside decoration is going to be. Actually, in fact, I think when we built this, the new wall types weren't in. So we had built this building a long time ago. Like right after bridges came in, I think, was when we built this building. So yeah, that would have been before the new wall types. So it was all just stone bricks all the way up. So yeah. Hey Val, how's it going? You did finally catch us. So let's see. Your time, it's really early for you, eh? It's probably like 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. or something like that. How are you doing? And Draka, you were working on a new Lunalong building. Sweet. Yeah, I was able to catch a couple streams of the Lunalong. It looked like it was a fun time and a good success. So, yeah, congratulations on that. Hope everybody had a lot of fun. What's going on here? Are we still in a lag? No. Let's see. The slate wall is in the way. Which slate wall is in the way? I'm standing right in front of it. Okay, now it's working. That's very strange. Yeah, 3:47. Wow, that's really early. See, that would be the time I'd have to wake up in order to catch Drongo's stream. So, wow. So is it that you stayed up until this point? Or is it you woke up at this point? Yeah, I know. We really wanted to come out. That week I got so sick. I got really sick. If you were able to catch my stream on that week, I had almost completely lost my voice. And I was not feeling up to it that week to make it out, unfortunately. I am meaning to try to make it to at least one Impalong this year. We'll see if I can make it, but you know, looking forward at my schedule, it's like a super busy time. I have a really hard time making it playing for long periods of time, that's for sure. I know there's another one coming up soon. It's Shrimpy's Impalong. I might just have to make the effort to make it to one of these anyway. So you woke up, could not get back to sleep, so you turned PC on, and here I am. Yeah, here I am. Yes. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you weren't able to get back to sleep. Always sucks to wake up and not be able to get back. Doesn't happen to me often, but like that I wake up in the middle of the night. But if I do wake up in the middle of the night, I have that same exact issue where I can't get back to sleep. Usually what I have to do is physically get out of bed, you know, maybe get a glass of water, walk around a little bit, and then I can usually get back to sleep okay. But if I wake up in my bed, I can't just like lie back down in bed or stay in bed and go back to bed. Yeah. Do you hear that thought? Those Shrimpy and I will be helping there. Okay. So are you saying that you're going to be helping at the Impalong that Shrimpy's putting on? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, and that's coming up soon, I think. Like, let's take a look what date that's happening. December 10th or something, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it the 9th? Let's see. You know, there's another thing going on the forums that I'm trying to keep up with. but it's a lot happening with it, and that's the post titled Wurmiversary. That it's regarding Enki's treasure hunt that he's doing, which I really wish I had the time to partake in this, but it's just another one of these things that I only get the time that I get to stream to play, and I might get a couple more hours in the week at most, and then the rest of it is me just forum trolling and stuff on my phone. And I'll try my best to read these things, but in terms of committing my time to playing, it's really hard to do that. But this Wurmiversary thing, the treasure hunt Enki's putting on is super, super exciting looking. And it seems like players are making some progress on it, at least from what I'm reading. Okay, let's see here. What am I looking for? I'm looking for Blackmore Christmas Implong. That's where it is. Let's see the dates. The dates are... It starts in 5 days. 7th to the 16th. Huh. It starts in 5 days. So the 7th is the Friday. So that would mean... So maybe... I'll have to do some coordination here and try to figure out... I definitely want to bring my priests along. My Venoran priest, she has lost her 100 faith by accident. That happened a long time ago, and I haven't really had the opportunity to get it back. My guess is that it would take, so I think it got dropped down all the way down to 99.3, so I need a 0.7 bump. So I know at Impelongs that 0.7 is not unheard of getting a, one sermon to get 0.7. That's doable. And then I'd be able to help out with casting and such. I could probably bring a whole bunch of favor as well, because I got a ton of it. But again, I can't 100% commit just yet. It's like one of these things. It's like every week I can't commit to even streaming, even though it sort of worked out that I have the ability to do that. It's hard to commit to dates because my schedule changes from week to week. Let's see what's happening here. I need to queue up a bunch of destroys. You'd love to meet us. It'd be fun. Girling? What is girling? It's an interesting word. When you guys come to say hi, just so you know. Girling. I'm going to look that up. Girling. The action or practice by a man of consorting with a woman or seeking out female company, frequently in to go girling. Huh. That's an interesting word. Fangirling. That's not it. Yep. Didn't think so. Oh, screaming like a little girl. I see. Let's see. Where would I go? Where would I have to go? Yeah, I figured that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so the Shrimpalong, is that on Independence? Let's see. My guess is Independence. Yes. Oh, yes. It's on the southeast island there. Okay, that makes it really easy to get to. I feel like I must have gone to a Nipalong there before. I must have. Huh. I've been to quite a few Impelongs now. I just can't envision it, but I feel like that island is very familiar. I must have visited there before, if not gone to an impelong there. So yeah, that's actually pretty doable, I think. Maybe I'll ask Feyran. We'll get ourselves on the boat and head over there. Might give us an opportunity to go check out the Haven's Landing deed as well, to see what that looks like. Is that, like, is it a place in Wurm where you can go? It must be. It's a deed on Independence, so we'll have to just figure out where that is. Head on over there. Is the location of that deed known by the players? Like, do people know where that is? Curious to know. The Haven's Landing deed, the new tutorial deed. Well, I know that the Blackmore Impelong is going to be on that island in the south. But I'm just planning like, if I were to plan a trip over to Independence, I would probably also want to go hunting for that new Haven's Landing deed, just to sort of like peek at it. Yeah, we don't know where that is. Well, of course, Joel, you know nothing. Okay, nothing's there. Okay, interesting. Interesting. So is it going to be one of these things where it just like sort of pops up one day? Poof, it's there. Very interested, very curious. In before Christmas. Yeah, I can be patient. I can just be, I'm just gonna be excited all the way up to that time, but I can wait. Okay, this is the last one I'm gonna bash, and then we're gonna build. Oh wait, that's not true. There's all the second floor ones. Although, I am still not 100% sure how I'd like this upstairs to look. But I do know that that one right there... Let's see, did that work? No. Gotta queue up a few. That one right there, that wall there needs to be bashed. It's the next one that I'm not sure about. So I'm gonna leave that one the way it is. Well, I'm glad that you have that, you know, that it's keeping you motivated, because you have to know that there's a ton of there's a ton of players who are also super excited. I'm sure of it. All the little hints being dropped and things, just this is the sort of thing that us players get all hyped up about. For sure. You know, it's the unknown. Before a big update, I'm always hyped about, you know, there's always the stuff that's been announced, the things that we know, the things that have been on test and people have been talking about. But there always seems to be something small that gets entered in that isn't quite on everybody's radar, and it's just like those sorts of things I'm super excited for, like the unknown, the little Easter eggs and the little extras that we get. Okay, there we go, and let's bash that one wall up there. Whoops, just this one. Yes, okay, and then I gotta finish this wall here too. Now, I'm not sure about all of those. I think maybe I'll have to double check at the bottom. I'm probably gonna have to change one or two there. Okay, so there's that one. Let's put a wall back there. No? Oh, I have to finish the one below. Okay. And then let's just check out over here. So, oh yes, yes. These two will need to be bashed. It's the next two that won't need to be. So these 4 will need to be bashed. Okay, let's just do those. Yes. Hey, Griphyth. Yeah, still part of the decoration. Yeah, this decoration competition is a long-term sort of thing. The first step to the whole decoration competition is to renovate. Now, granted, this is the step that we're comfortable with. It's the actual building of the walls and that sort of stuff, and designing the layout of the house. It's once we get to the, placing items down, tables, items on the tables, the bookshelves, and these sorts of things. That's where we're out of our element a little bit. But at least I feel a little bit long way off from that spot. But yeah, we're sort of playing this slowly. It's a slow game. As we always play Wurm. We always play Wurm with the long-term goals that we slowly increment towards. That's just our style. It's the reason why the labyrinth took however many years it took. 3-4 years. Just a little bit at a time. We keep our eye on the prize, but we don't rush towards the end, that's for sure. Now I think in this room, I definitely want to go with sandstone on the back walls. Okay, I should keep one thing at a time. So let's keep with the slate. Whoa, what's happening here? Is it my mall? No. What's the deal? That bash only did 6 damage. You're building a huge underground city. That's fun. That's fun. I've always wanted to do that. Always wanted to do that. But it definitely low on the list of what I'm going to be doing next, that's for sure. One other thing I want to be working on at some point. Oh, I see why. I'm out of stamina. That's why I'm not bashing well. Another thing I really want to work on is the boat mine. Am I using my rare hammer? Oh, I am using my hammer. What am I doing? Thank you. I see. I had activated my hammer in order to add a wall. That's what happened. And then I forgot to switch back to my maul. That's where the problem is. Thank you, Muse. Hopefully I didn't damage it too much. Just 0.66. One thing... I do understand why this is the case. But it would be nice if this destroying action wasn't 30 seconds long. It would be nice. I do understand why it's there. But the reason why it's there is specifically for PvP. Right? Am I right? Is that the reason why it's there? Like 30-second long timer for destroying. It's gotta be there specifically for PvP. To give the opposing team time enough to fix the wall or to counteract the destroying of the walls. Because, I mean, man, otherwise this is just, I don't know. For this purpose, it just seems kind of over the top to have 30-second timers. So if you own a house, you should be able to insta-destroy a single wall, the same as you can insta-kill a whole house. Yeah, you can insta-kill a whole house. But see, if you change it to that, then only the owner of the house would be able to do that. And I'm not the owner of this house. This one's owned by Feyran. But, you know, I would like to see just quicker timers on the destroy action. Because on PvE, like on the Freedom servers, the only reason why you're destroying something, especially if it's on deed, it's because you want to renovate it, right? Or because, you know, if you're on your own deed, you can just pop the house if you wanted to completely get rid of it. Huh. I just heard a gate open and close. Or with permission, yeah. Hey, Dude Jensen. Thanks for this subscribe. 3 months in a row. Amazing. We're sort of getting that 3 months in a row subscription. Which means that we've been streaming for 3 months now, solidly. Doesn't seem all that long, but you know, if you think about it, the fact that we've been streaming for 3 months solid, we've been streaming since the summer, and you know, July, August, September, October, November. Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah. So thank you very much for that sub. Okay, let's see. Ready to build some walls now. So all of these ones are going to be just straight up walls, slate walls. And we'll do for however much slate that I have. That's how far we'll go. Where's my mortar that I've been digging into? Somewhere in here. So I'll take 40 mortar and the rest slate. And hopefully I still have my trowel in here. Yep. And slate wall. Good to go. All right. Let's see, what else is there to chat about in Wurm? What else is exciting and going on in Wurm? Have you guys been getting luck with the new horse colors? I haven't really been doing much with the horses yet. Another project that I've been working on is that other deed. I'm sort of making it a priest deed. You're still looking, yeah? Good luck with that, though. Because finding a wild horse with those colors, that's going to be like a 1 in a million, I think. Nice, you got an Appaloosa. But absurdities, you were saying that you got all the other ones. You got a black silver as well? That's the one that I'm looking for, is a black silver. Really excited for that one. And the question that I had, and I don't know if it's been answered yet, is, are any of these horses, do any of them have special characteristics or traits? It was confirmed, at least insofar as Buddha knows, that the ebony black does indeed have an extra speed trait, although a minor one, apparently. My question would be, are any of the other horses, do any of the other horses have these extra traits? Or if there's any plans for that sort of thing. And we had brought up this idea of adding, you know, or at least like working on an overhauled system for the animal husbandry or the creature system. One that sort of addresses taming and just the animal husbandry as a whole, and the traits on the animals making a little bit more sense. Because I feel like as it is now, people have their 5-speed, sort of their 5-speed stock. And the other thing I notice is that in the past, if a new server opens, it's almost like there's like this journey to getting those 5 speeds from the breeders. Like they'll breed a ton until they get those 5 speeds on the server. But once a server has a good stock of 5-speed horses, after that, it's sort of like the whole breeding thing is done. You now just have to just continue breeding those 5 speeds, and there's no challenge anymore. So I feel like an overhaul of this whole system is kind of due. And we were kind of mentioning this on the last stream, and we were talking about how what we would like to see is maybe like how each horse color sort of has special traits as part of this. And then you can have this sort of transfer to other animals. I was imagining, you know, having cows, for example, that are the black and white style cows, like the dairy milk cows. And you can give them a special trait where they produce more milk, or potentially, I don't know, more often. You're able to milk them more often or something like that. So yes, this is where I'm going with this. And so I think that definitely that the animal husbandry has some room for improvement. And, you know, after we mentioned all this, we, Catspur had made a post, something I was completely unaware of, and that is, she was saying that it's not the color of the horse that gives it that trait. I mean, like, in my mind, I've always imagined dairy cows being black and white, for example. And I've always imagined, like, cattle that's specifically for beef, let's say. I don't know why. This might be completely wrong. But in my mind, I was always imagining it was brown color, or a darker brown color, or something like that. So I guess somewhere along the line, I got this sense that color had something to do with the traits of the animal. So I was surprised to see Catspur's post, which mentioned that with horses, it's not the color. In fact, you can have a particular breed of horse that has particular traits, but they would present in a wide variety of different colors. And that you could find that same wide variety of colors in another horse that is a completely different breed that is intended for some other purpose. And she showed several images of this, so totally awesome post. I learned a lot about horses in that post. And she continued to go on with her idea for how to sort of address this in Wurm. And she was talking about how you would have, let's say, for example, what she called hot-blooded horses, which are like the nimble, agile, quick horses. They're much thinner than, let's say, the horses that we see in Wurm right now. And the example she gave was like the Arabian-style horses, you know, those fast, agile horses. And let's say you add in these horses into the game, and you would give them sort of a bonus to speed. But let's say only they wouldn't be able to carry very much. So you would get those speed bonuses if you were light, for example. And that if you hitched them to a cart, they wouldn't really pull that cart very well. But they would be great for a single rider. So that you know, there's those. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you get these huge hulking horses, those beefy, you know, those ones with like all the fur on their hooves, and they're just like big draft horses, I guess they're called. And those horses are designed specifically to pull heavy weight. And you put those on wagons, let's say, and they have much more pulling capacity. But on their own, they're not very fast. And I thought that this was a great sort of system, and make it related to body type rather than color. So all of these horses can have all the different colors, but you would have some horses that are like sort of beefier looking versus some horses which are much thinner and agile looking. Yeah. I am totally all for this. This sounds like a great update if it were to come to Wurm. Let's see what you guys are saying. Okay, so Do Jensen, you got 1 gold buckskin by breeding. Awesome. Yeah, more riding animals would be great. Yeah, I agree with that. I remember when they first added in the new character models. This was way back when we first started, or maybe a year after we first started, that there was this time where you were able to ride bears. They made bears rideable. I'm not sure if you can still ride them, but we started off one of our early episodes where we're sitting on a bear. You know, I think that you're right. We should see more rideable animals. Better milk or butchered leather? Yes, totally. Yep, you get better milk. Currently, the way that milk works is that it always comes out at 100%, which always baffled me. It's kind of like how water is. But if you can make it so that milk has a quality, and that certain cows can make better quality milk, yeah, the heavy horses would be great. Yeah, lots of people do care about their horses. I'd agree with that. Horses more than most animals. Part of it might have to do with the fact that we ride them and hitch them to wagons, so we use them a lot. They have lots of good uses. Part of it might just have to do with the fact that they get names, right? So when we have a name for something, it tends to make it a little bit more personal. I'd like to see that extended to other animals in this game, like dogs. But also, it could be extended to other animals like sheep, for example. You know, you have some sheep that have a trait specifically for, let's say, growing fur faster. Not fur, but wool. Or maybe at a higher quality or something like that. What's this? Yeah, different breeds of dogs. That would be cool. Although, for dogs, you'd have to have complete different models. Right? Like, think a German Shepherd versus a Poodle. Huh. Couldn't have the same model for those. Yeah, and you can have different, horses that have the ability to go up slopes better. I think that would be a trait that I would want to breed into my horses if they had such a trait. Able to climb up slopes better. Useful pets that don't get whacked so easily would be nice. Yeah, you always got to think about the PvP perspective though with that. I kind of remember a time in the past where the PvP community was complaining about, it had something to do with people bringing in overpowered pets into fights. Like they would get a no-gump and somehow dominate it and then bring that no-gump into the fight. Those sorts of things. I mean, I know the whole argument of it's going to unbalance PvP so we can't have it in PvE is just like a super horrible argument. But I feel like it's still a limitation to the development of this game, that PvP is closely tied to the code that is for PvE. But anyway, I was really excited about that post. Whether or not the devs have an idea about whether or not this system is on the docket for being fixed up, I don't know. But it would be really nice to see animal husbandry or the creatures themselves get some sort of update. I know that there's a combat update in the works. It might be prudent to sort of consider whether or not creature updates will be looked at in the future and whether or not that should play a role in how the combat update gets sort of addressed. Because if there's going to be an overhaul of the creatures, and this would be including all the mobs, like even the trolls and how they work and stuff. Because they're already going to be considering how the combat is going to be changed. That's going to change all the creatures and their combat. Maybe it would be a good sort of like additional thing to look at creature updates at the exact same time as the combat update. Though there's no time frame for that, so not sure when or if that's going to happen. Whoops, let's see, add this. No, slate wall's in the way. I'm still having that same problem. What's happening here? Just standing right on that tile, I guess, maybe. You get only from breeding over to... Sorry, I'm not sure what you're saying here. You get only from breeding over to, like, real life. I see a Wurm service announcement that I didn't see before. From Retrograde. New horse colors turning gray. Hi everyone. As you may know, with the release of the horse colors, there was a bug in which some gray horses changed color to gold buckskin. They were clearly as excited as you were. To address this, we did a quick patch that reset the new color traits to gray. The intention was for this to only run once upon the patch, and then it would be removed. But with today's maintenance restart, it ran again, which removed Existing newborn horses colors too. Ah, that sucks. Fixing this may prove to be slightly difficult to do with the code or an update, so the GM team is attending tickets to manually reset horse colors. Oh, yikes. That must have been what the whole reset was earlier. I completely missed that. That's huge. Boy, you guys must have been worked real hard today. In the meantime, we'll be doing a restart to remove the offending piece of code to ensure it doesn't happen again. To apologize for the incident, we will be giving out an extra 5-hour sleep bonus. Well, thank you for that 10 hours of sleep bonus. Let's see, edit. With the second restart, sleep bonus has been added, set to an additional. Okay, sweet. I really do like that addition there regarding the 10 hours of sleep bonus. You know, the horse color thing didn't affect me, but I do feel for the people that it did affect. That does suck. And then having to wait for a GM to come manually switch everything, and then all the GMs are probably working like dogs trying to figure out, or trying to switch all that manually. That's a little crazy. Right, I see what you're saying. For dogs. Because dogs in the wild all look sort of like the same. In fact, they kind of look like wolves. In fact, they are wolves. But then once you breed them, they start looking different. I think that's the same for a lot of animals. Like, I've heard that pigs, you know, pigs, the farm pigs, pink skin, you know, pigs. That pigs in the wild don't look anything like that. And in fact, if you release domesticated pigs into the wild and then look at what they look like a year later, they look nothing like the pink skin that they do when they're domesticated. They get all hairy and grayish, dark looking. They look like wild pigs, you know, like boars. Same with cows, actually. I think when you get a wild cow, they start looking completely different than domesticated cows. Yeah, wild boars, yeah. So yeah, that makes sense. You know, once you domesticate them, then they start displaying different characteristics and different colors and those sorts of things. I think that makes complete sense. Yeah, GMs had to change it back. Yeah, I know. I am feeling a little tired. I think it might be a little bit due to this wine here. It does have that tendency to cause yawning. Yeah, the wild boars, they capture and kill them here as they're invasive and destroy crops. Yeah, I've heard that. In lots of places they do that. 2 or 3 million feral, formerly domesticated pigs in Texas. And they look like razorbacks. Wow. That's just insane to me. It's insane that they, you know, if you have formerly domesticated animals, which when they were domesticated, they're like pink and harmless. And then you let them out and all of a sudden they start looking like feral pigs. They grow their tusks back. They become super dangerous. Yeah, 2 or 3 generations. That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy to me. It's insane how nature works. True, not all domestic pigs are pink. You're right. They do come in all sorts of different colors. You know, let's see here. But when I think of domesticated pigs, this is what I look at, what I think of. Let's see if I can pull this up. How cute are these things? Come on. Yeah, so you get some spotted, different colors. There's a black one. Pigs are cute though. Look at those guys. But then you look up feral pigs. Let's do it in Texas because you were saying there's a ton of them. Let's look at some images of feral pigs in Texas. This is what they look like. Right? Like they're not fuzzy anymore. They're more like rough looking. Long hair. They have these tusks or razors along the side of their face. Right? They get these razors along the side. To think that looked like, you know, like these guys just a few generations before that. It's just amazing. You have more kangaroos than people here. That must be in Australia. It must be in Australia. Let's see, where are we in these walls? We're right on the end. Okay, so this... Let's see, I probably have to be on that last tile there. Let's move forward. So this one here is going to be a portcullis. A slate portcullis. You know what I found out? Those left and right archways require a fence bar. That's why I have some fence bars in here. I thought that was a little bit strange, considering, and maybe they changed this, but I feel as though the portcullis does not need the fence bar. Let's test this out. Yep, I do not need a fence bar for a portcullis. But I would think that the portcullis, if anything, would need a fence bar. Right? I mean, it looks like it has a fence bar anyway. Right, and then there's this barred fence up here. This barred, what do they call it? The slate barred wall or whatever it is. Yeah, also does not need fence bar. But then the one tile that looks like this archway or whatever, whoops, the archway, that one does need a fence bar. Yeah, maybe for rebar, as you say. The basic marble wall does? It does? It needs a fence bar? Huh, I did not know that. You sure about that? I feel like we built a whole bunch of marble walls on the labyrinth. But that's crazy if it does. It's crazy. Okay, there we go. Let's just climb up here and see what we're dealing with up here. Okay, so I want to finish this one up. Whoops, I need to plan a wall. Okay. Let's finish this one up. No, 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 no. I want a wall. Slate wall. There we go. Yeah, the arch. It's very strange that an arch would need a bard. Oh, I did make it a wall. Okay, let's fix this. I'm very bad at making sure that the wall type is the right wall. Very bad. Okay, so this one needs to be a narrow window. Yeah, it's the left/right arched walls. Those ones seem to need the bar. Though I couldn't tell you why. It seems like they shouldn't need it anyway. Slate barred walls in the way. Goodness. Okay. Let's try this one more time. So what I would like is the narrow, slate window narrow. That's the one. I'm going to need 4 more mortar. And 6 more bricks. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It makes no sense. Like an RSJ, they need support because they have no support. Yeah. I mean, there is logic to it. I do see the logic. However, it was just a pain in the butt to have to go back up all these ramps to get the fence bars to bring them all back down just so that I could build those arches. Yeah, see, exactly. If you're going to add an extra fence bar, then take away some of those bricks and mortar. Shouldn't need nearly as much. I'd be okay if they just made it the same number of bricks and mortar and no additional materials like a fence bar. But it is what it is. Okay, so plan these guys out. Once I finish these, then I can start destroying some of these temporary floors. Let's see. And I think I should destroy these two as well while I'm up here. Let's do that. Yes, they do look nice. I agree. Hey, Zenmir. You're curious and haven't tested on Wurm Unlimited yet, but can you make bridges inside buildings? If anyone knows. Huh. I'm pretty sure it is a no-go. You cannot make bridges inside of buildings. Yeah. Yeah, not inside, but there might be a mod on Wurm Unlimited somewhere. But I could be wrong. So, another topic to talk about here. Something I've been thinking about over the last little bit. And it's something that we've been talking about on our show, and that is how we are going to incorporate tutorials into this whole business of streaming Wurm. Brian and I have both acknowledged that tutorials are important, and we would love to do tutorials. But then in actual practice, what ends up happening is that we don't ever have the time to sit down and plan out those tutorials because they do take quite a bit of planning. And then on top of that, they take a lot of time to record, and then in the end you get, you spend 3 hours making this video and you get a 15-minute video. And it's just we might be able to do 1 or 2 like that, and then we know what's going to happen, and we're just going to get burnt out of it. And we're not going to, because we're not going to be seeing, it's hard to explain, but it's like, the amount of effort that you put into something, and then the outcome is a 15-minute clip that doesn't really display all of the work that we put into it. And it takes us away from doing this, right? Like, which is something that we enjoy doing. So I've been really trying hard to figure out how we can sort of incorporate these things. And my initial thought was, let's just do tutorials while we're doing stuff. And that sort of works sometimes and sort of doesn't work sometimes, But then I got this idea recently, and it was spurred on by a memory of a streamer that I was watching. He streams Overwatch. His name is Jane, and he's the coach for Team Canada, the Overwatch Team Canada. And he streams a lot, or at least he used to. I haven't been keeping up with his streams, but one thing that I noticed that he did was that the audience would be, he has a big audience, so he has tons of comments coming in. And every so often, one audience member will ask him, show me how I can do this, or show me how I can do that. And every so often he'll pick something that somebody's requesting and just spend the time to show it and explain it and to give strategies and tips, and they're all off the top of his head, things that he knows. And he doesn't know everything. He's just a person. He knows a lot, though, because he's a coach for Overwatch. But he'll explain it to the best of his ability, and he does a really good job at it. And it's entertaining to watch, especially since it's off the cuff. So I was thinking, maybe we could try something like this, where people in the audience ask something that they're interested in, something that they're curious about, something that they would like to see being shown. How do I do this? What is the best way to level this up? And then we might just switch gears and start working on that. And this sort of idea came from maybe a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago now. I was doing just this. I was working on that room over there, doing the pot. Can't remember if it was doing the slate walls. I was probably before, when I was doing I made these all stone at first, and then I bashed them all down and redid them up. Somebody was asking, what is the best way to channel grind? And I thought, maybe I'll just show that. So I switched over to my priest and showed it, and I think it worked out really well. It's a good segment of how to level up your channel grinding, or your channeling. So with that in mind, at this point, I'm not sure whether or not I'll do anything right now regarding this, but I'm curious to know what you guys would like to see in terms of tutorial segments. What would be some interesting, not interesting, but useful tutorial segments for both the new and veteran player? Yeah, could run a Wurm workshop or clinic if there's enough requests for something. Yeah, see, this is what I'm kind of proposing. Instead of running an actual workshop, run a portion of this show as a workshop. You know what I mean? Somebody's interested in learning about, what is the best way to level up my mining? Or what is the best way to level up my blah, blah, blah? Or how is it that you go about building vaulted ceilings in a house? You'd love to see you show exactly how to build that tower you made with the outside steps, even though you know that they're not outside. See, I can even do that one right now. I can show you exactly how I did that. Now, I wouldn't be able to do it like actually build it, but I can actually show you the step-by-step process that I used to do it. What am I doing here? Let's see. Slate wall. Slate wall. Yes, this is good. Okay, let's go. Yeah, I can show that one. I can show that one right now. How about I finish these 4 walls, and I can walk up to that tower and show it, and then come back down and continue doing this. Or we'll see what time we're at that point. I don't know. Okay, so that's a good one. Like how to construct that the staircase that goes around the outside of a tower that goes up. I did this my first time I tried this. Did I do it here first? I think I did it here first on this deed. And then I was building Linton, and I thought I could build this nice overlooking tower. So I did it over there as well on Linton. Okay, this one also is slate wall. I just gotta remember when I go upstairs that they need to be barred walls and narrow windows. So nothing else, no other thoughts. I mean, like there's the obvious ones which are like, you know, beginner tips and tricks sort of thing. Like the things that you need to know in order to get started in this game. Problem with that one, like I was thinking through that tutorial this week. I was thinking like, if I were to make a tutorial segment for the absolute new player, the person who's like, okay, I kind of want to try this game. They load it up and they turn it on for the first time, and the first things that they do in the game, those make or break steps. Or maybe they're just having problems understanding what the game is all about, so they go over to YouTube and type in, you know, beginner guide to Wurm Online. I would have a real hard time thinking about what to say to that person. I'll be honest. It's been so long since I've been in that spot where I'm like brand new to the game, you know what I mean? Yeah, I could have a Griphyth teach Brian stream all about smithing. Yeah. It's the... See, that was our spin. That was the way that we did things back then. And I'm not sure how much it came across. Like, Brian's a pretty decent actor. But he would act as though he had no idea what was going on. And I would be the one who sort of taught him how to do it. He would play the dullard. But you know, the entire time it was quite an act. He was just as knowledgeable as I was, I think. Yeah, I almost feel like the people who are... It's so hard to think like a new player. And that the people who are most qualified to do like what to do at the start are the people who just finished that. You know, like when we first started streaming, we had been playing for maybe 6 or 8 months or something like that. And at that point, we were like in the right mindset for making videos like that. You know, we had just figured it out ourselves. But now we're talking, you know, 6, 7 years later. Oh, I did it again. It said that I wanted to do those alternating barred walls. Okay, well, Let's do this one anyway. The easiest way to think like a new player, make a brand new character, no help from the mains, show the bare bones that way. Yeah, you know, we had thought about that as well. We had debated doing that. In fact, that was our first ever instinct. So if you go back to our very, very first video, not the very first one, but the first one where we set out to go show about the game, we did do that. We started on brand new characters, and we're like, okay, we're gonna take these new characters, we're gonna build a house and everything, like we're gonna show everything about the game from the brand new character perspective. And as it turned out, it was taking forever to do anything. It was just so long. Those videos would be terribly, terribly long. And so at some point, I think in the third or fourth video, we switched back to our mains just to get through the content faster. Yeah, you still know how to play the game at that point, though. Getting that knowledgeable is, yeah, getting that initial knowledge, that is the hard part. Absolutely. So the question is, how do we it's like, I look back now on that time, and if I were to like tell myself, what do I need to tell myself, you know, my newbie self, what should I tell that person in order to get them to understand how to play the game better? True, it is realistic. Absolutely realistic. You know, the other problem with it, at least for us, is just the time it takes. We just don't have the time. It would take us away from doing the thing that we actually want to do when we turn on the stream button, you know? Like things like this, like projects. The things that we love to do in the game. You know, as much as I would love to create tutorials, I wouldn't want to get to that. I wouldn't want to make that the thing that I do. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it properly, maybe. It's like, I guess when I jump on this game, I want to play the game. I want to have my own goals, my own things that I'm doing. And I don't mind stopping here and there and showing something interesting or some trick that I've learned or something like that. It's just that we just don't have the same amount of time as we used to. Like back then, we would play all week. We would have, you know, almost every evening, and we would play our own game for like hours and hours that week. And then we would turn on the stream, and we could devote the hour or the hour and a half to doing something completely different. So we would hop on new characters, we would show tips and tricks, we would dig a big hole, we would do things that weren't related to our big project, because then the rest of the week we'd go back to doing our big project. Our life is in a completely different spot these days. Completely different, where the stream is our playtime. And that's pretty much the majority of our playtime that we have. Okay, I'm going to show this tower and how it was constructed. So the key to making a tower... Wait, where am I? I'm lost in my own house. There it is. Okay, before I go on with that, let's take a look here. What you guys are saying. You went from no equipment to Drake scale. Yeah. It is true. Everything takes so long as a new player. It's hard because most noobs are encouraged to join a village and would therefore get help too. Yeah, that's true. I don't know if that's the best move for a new player though. I mean, that that wasn't the move that we did. We were being encouraged to join a new village, but we were very set on making our own way in the game. Yeah, you resisted joining a village until you had made your own shack. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we felt the same kind of way. Like, people kept asking us to join their villages, but we felt like, and a lot of those villages were like already all done. Like, there was a farming place. They were like, you can stay in this house, and you know, there's a mine over here, and you would have everything that you would possibly need. And all we thought was, you know, but then we would miss out on the chance of making that mine and making that house and setting up that farming area. Like, that part was like the fun part to us. So yeah. Yeah, and for getting started series, Wurm Unlimited would be much better. You can speed up actions and make a GM gather materials for you. And, you know, we thought about that too. Like, I had suggested to Brian a long time ago that if we wanted to make more tutorials, we should do it on Wurm Unlimited. But we also wanted our videos to promote Wurm Online. It was always our goal to promote Wurm Online. Yeah, townies and loners, yeah. Maybe. But I do feel like those people who spend all of their time in a town, like right from their newbie experience, I feel like they're missing out on something about this game. You know, like the exploration, the finding a place and claiming it for yourself, and then setting it up exactly how you envisioned. There's something to be said about that. Yeah, you let them, you know, join just so they can get set up and figure it out, and then they strike off. Yeah, and that's sort of kind of like how we played it when we had some players join our deed back at Autumn Twilight. You know, we set it up for them so that they'd have a place to just like learn the game, and then potentially, if they wanted to, head out. Okay, so let's take a look at this building. Valiance had requested, how do you build a building so that you have this sort of staircase wrapping around? Did I fall? No, I'm going down a bridge. So you have this staircase wrapping around the tower. Okay, now this can be done. I did it with a 2x2 tower here. But this can be done with a 1x1 if you wanted it as well. But the key is that at some level below the tower, you have a wider base on the house. So you need like if you want your tower to be 2x2, okay, then you need a 4x4 base. Okay, so you start out with a 4x4 base. You can build just one level of that if you like. And then on the second floor, you shrink it down to a 2x2 and then build that straight up. Okay. What this allows you to do is then you could, like I could, on this right here, I can plan a ladder? Yeah, build a ladder. You build a ladder. And you just go around this entire thing. You build ladders. Plan ladders like this. All the way around. And you finish those ladders, right? Then, right here, you're going to plan, like, let's say a staircase. A wide staircase if you want, or you can just have like a right staircase so it's up against the tower, whichever one you want to be here. Okay, so like let's say I plan a wide staircase, let's say. Okay, so now you have a wide staircase leading up to a couple ladder openings. Now, when you finish this ladder opening, what you do is you climb up there, or you finish this staircase, let's say, and then on top of that ladder opening, you build another staircase. Do you sort of see how I'm doing that? Right? And you can just, you kind of have to build the ladder openings all the way around. Right? You just keep building ladder openings all the way around the entire thing. And then you have to climb up and build another layer of ladder openings. Except for the only places you don't build the ladder openings is where you have your staircases. So you have a staircase on this tile, then you climb up this ladder opening, you have a staircase on that tile. Climb up this ladder opening, you have to build another ladder opening and build a staircase on that tile, and so on and so forth. When it's all said and done and the staircases are all done, then you have to destroy all the ladder openings below it. Right? And then you'll be just left with the staircases. Now, you have to be careful because you see this one right here? So I'm trying to remember what the bug was for this. There was some issue with this particular ladder opening, this floor. I couldn't get rid of this floor. And I think it was... What was it? Oh, I know what it was. It was that I made it a floor and not an opening. It seems as though openings can be destroyed below the staircases. But if it's an actual floor, you destroy it and it leaves the plan. And I thought when I did that at that time that I would just go back and fix it. And the way that I would have to fix it is that starting here, I'd have to build ladder openings all the way up to there. I'd have to destroy that staircase. I'd have to rebuild a new ladder opening, rebuild the staircase, and then destroy all the ladder openings coming back down. Yeah, so I think that... I mean, it might be fixed now. I don't know if it was changed. But that bug was there back when I was building this, maybe a few years ago. And if I wanted to fix it, I have to build ladder openings up to that point so that I could address it. But yeah, that's how you build this. And you know, you could, I can only imagine, you could probably get, see, here's the thing. If you do only a single tile, sorry, like a single tile tower, I just thought of what I was about to say is completely obsolete. It's not right. Yeah, you could probably just keep winding around and around and around and around, can't you? Yeah, you could build staircases on top of other staircases. Yeah, that should be okay. So yeah. I didn't go so high on this one. I think that's the 7th floor up there. But you can imagine you can go really high, I'm sure. Yeah. Let's go climb up there and see what's going on up there. So I made this one sort of start here. I had thought that this room would be something special, but it never turned out to be anything. I left it empty. But anyway, come up here and I put some patios here. And this was supposed to be sort of like a nice balcony overlooking the village. And then here's where the staircase for the tower starts. So it goes up and around and up again. Yeah, this one's not so high. The Linton one is much higher. But yeah. So yeah, there you go. That's how you build a staircase winding around a tower. Yeah, that tower's not so high. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 floors up there. 5, 6. So this is the 6th. And then there's probably a 3 below. Oh yeah, this was like supposed to be a little storage room. Yeah, I think I'm currently on the 3rd floor, if I'm not mistaken. 3rd, then 2nd. Oh no, I guess that's the 4th floor. Boy, so if that's the 4th floor, that would be the 5th floor. That would be the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. So when you're up there, you're actually on the 10th floor. Huh. It's a lot higher than I thought it was. Huh. Will the footstep sound ever match what you're actually on? I don't know. I don't know. I think it sort of does, doesn't it? Like, I'm on stone, so you hear like sort of clopping. And then when I go into the grass, you hear sort of shuffling, right? Let's see, do I have any wooden floors? Let's see, I must have wooden floors somewhere. Curious to know if those sound different. Let's see, gravel. Yeah, the gravel sounds different. It's also a little bit different than the grass. Ooh. A trader. An aged black wolf trader. That's an interesting find here on my deed. If you have a stone floor on top of a dirt tile, it'll sound like dirt. Huh. Did I, like, complete a mission there? That was just, like, completely flukish. Let's see, where's the mission progress? Oh, goodness. I don't understand this window. Background wants to slay the traitor Black Wolf seen fleeing from Valray into these lands. It was and then that's not. It was last spotted on the center west regions. Rewards: 15 minutes sleep bonus for the person who completes this mission, as well as 1,000 karma per creature within 60 meters. Extra sleep bonus split between participants upon completion. With 60 minutes extra sleep bonus. Huh. Interesting. And that black wolf trader just walked right up to me. I know. Out of all of Xanadu, it happened right here. I know, seriously. Just go buy a lotto ticket. Now I completely forget what I was doing. I was going to go do something in there. Oh yeah, wooden floors. So let's see. Okay, so this is paved though, right? It's like I actually made the planks, the wooden planks, and paved this. So it's not like a wooden floor. Yeah, so I see in the house it doesn't sound like I'm. See, like there's a difference. This footstep here sounds different than when I'm in the house. When I'm in the house, it sounds like I'm walking on dirt. Same with here. Same with here. Now, is that because my house is on dirt? Like, I never paved underneath the floors of the first floor? Like, for example, if I destroyed this floor here, and I put pavement under the floor, and then put the floor back, then it would sound like I'm walking on pavement? Huh. Always pave your plot before you build the floors. That's interesting. You know, I did get the sense that I should always pave before building, but it was for a completely different reason. And the reason was, actually there's two reasons. One is if there was grass underneath the house. So underneath this floor, if it was just grass and I just paved on top of the grass, there's some times where the grass sort of seeps out the end, like the side here of the house. It looks like it's clipping out of the house. And then there's the other issue that if you don't have a pavement right up against the house, let me see if we have a spot. Like on this side, here it is. So on this side, there's a transition. I guess here there's no transition. But if, let's say, I packed the ground underneath there, you would see that sort of packed ground sticking out from underneath the house in some situations. I don't see it here. It might mean that there's grass under there, I don't know. But anyway. Doesn't it at least require you to pack the dirt? It does not. No, you can plan the building right on grass if you wanted to. Which color setting did I change the highlight to? So I decided to go with an orange, sort of an orangey color, because I felt like orange was the least intrusive. So let's see what color it is. Whoops. Can you guys see that? Yeah, okay, oh yeah, it took away the game. Huh. But if I move that, okay, I'll move it. I'll have to move it back. Okay, so let's see here. There's the number, FF9D00. I basically went and picked one of these guys. And then I changed the opacity. In fact, I'll probably go down a little bit more. Yeah, I changed the opacity so that it's a little bit more clear. There we go. And now it looks like I'm still on my settings. That's weird. I don't even have my settings open anymore. Okay, that's very strange. Let's see if I can fix this here. Huh. There we go. That is a little messed up, but it is fixed now. There we go. All right. Yeah, I kind of like the orange. I tried a couple different colors until I settled on the orange. Yeah. I know Brian uses a different color. I think he goes with like a purple or something like that. And I think it's just a matter of preference. But I do recommend to anybody who hasn't yet changed from the default to change it, because it really does affect the way that you view the game. You know, I really feel like if that outline is as faint as it possibly can be while still allowing you to see it, then that's the best. Yeah. So I think, let's see, did I bring my horses back up? I don't even, did I do that? Yeah, it looks like I did. Okay. So yeah, I think I might end the stream here at this point. Getting tired myself, and it's past midnight. I know, so much sleep bonus to use up. You know, I'm the type of player to leave my sleep bonus at max. I unfortunately don't have enough time to use it up. And so I am not concerned about how much sleep bonus I have. At some point I'll use it. I'll have to decide what I want to use it on. But I have had the inkling to continue to work on my weaponsmithing. That's something that needs to be worked on quite a lot. But yeah, lots of sleep bonus. See, just to give you a sense for how little sleep bonus I use, here's how all my sleep powders. And that's just for racking up from all the times that I've been putting premium on our characters. I must have more somewhere else too. Just don't get a chance to use them is all. All right. So here's where I'm going to end it. It's been a fun time. Got a whole bunch of walls done. Lots of progress done down there. I think I'll probably have some time this week to work on it a little bit more. So next week I'll have a little bit more to show you. Well, actually, depending. Got to figure out what we're going to do next week. We're definitely going to be showing you what more information that we get about this new tutorial. We might even spend the time to travel out to the Shrimpalong, and yeah, never know. I'm gonna have to work out some things with Brian. I might have to sail us over there. So until next time, you guys have a good night and keep on worming, and we'll see you in the next episode. Have a good night, everybody.